All right, I am live. Hello, hello, hello. For those who are new, or whether you will watch this live or in the replay, this is the Queen of Credit, right? They call me the Queen of Credit because my results and in the credit world of reversing and restoring bad credit. So this is 5 minutes of fame, right? We got Brandon Hicks on. 5 minutes of fame. Brandon is the first one to come in. Drop your city and state, or simply say hello. Let me cut my timer on as we go to 5 minutes of fame. We have Michigan also in the house. We got Carla from Michigan. Brandon is from Raleigh, North Carolina. Sharon Shorter is in the house. Good evening to you too, hon. Make sure after you all drop your city and state and say hello, that you also take time to hit that like button to share this broadcast, podcast, live stream, whatever you want to call it. Tallahassee, Tallahassee, Florida is joining us. Keon Lang from Tallahassee, hello. Battle E from Detroit. We have like 3 or 5 people in from Detroit, aka Detroit, Michigan. For those that don't know, Detroit is also known as Detroit as well. Angela Horton, hello. Hi, everyone. Thanks for saying hello. At 3 minutes and counting. Hello, Louisiana. Have Louisiana in the house. Louisiana is one of those states that said they could actually afford the additional $100 stimulus, right? Mississippi is a state that said no, can't afford it. Actually, Mississippi had the highest 1,300 cases reported today of the Rona, right? So Louisiana said if the act is passed, yes, we can pay the additional $100. But I think the Republican Party said today that just want $300 flat, right? $300 flat, but they were not talking about a stimulus. We're not talking about the $1,200 stimulus in that package, so we don't know. Hello, April from Chicago. I have a lot of family in Chicago. Los Angeles, TK is from Los Angeles. I didn't know that. Los Angeles, California is in the house. New Orleans, we got Nola in the house as well. It's in the house. And we got Dana from Florida checking in, right? Checking in. As you all are checking in, we have 2 minutes counting. The countdown is on. Also, after you check in, if you're on my YouTube, exit out the live chat real quick, and hit the thumbs up to notify everyone that I am live. Also, make sure that you are subscribed, right? Hit that subscribe button, whether you're watching live on the replay, hit subscribe. Right next to it, hit the bell notification button as well. All right, let the shout outs begin. Dana from Florida. Easy. Take it easy. Swanway, Georgia. Easy. I thought about you the other day. I did not know you was a veteran. Thank you so much for serving our country. But I had another veteran that used to come on from California. His name was Rick Phillips, right? And Rick would complain all the time about the government. I can understand when you fight and defend our country, right? Your feelings on the government. But Rick out of California, he continued to complain and complain. And I asked him, I said, Rick, you have to have something, right, that you can increase your income, that you can increase your income. And Rick said, LaTanya, I own land out of California. I said, take that land and do something with it. So Rick began with avocados. Then he began to produce other fruit trees. Income increase, right? I tell people all the time, money never fights money. Stop expecting the Republicans and Democrats to fight against each other. Money never ever fights money. And now Rick is very seldom on my live stream because he is making money hand over fist. And it was something that he had within his reach and arsenal to increase his income. So this is a time that we have to save ourselves. It's not up to the government, right? We got Shara from Florida. It's 15 seconds. 14 seconds is ticking. I'm approaching the 10 seconds. Atlanta is in the house, right? We have another Florida resident, Tiffany from Miami, Florida. All right, that's the time. 5 minutes of fame. Thank you all for coming in, tuning in, and saying hello. Let me get the last two shout outs. Youngstown, Ohio, Monica Allen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And Virginia, the VA, Antoine Robinson is tuning in as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live stream. And so I want to discuss what's going on with the United States Postal Service, how this may cause and probably will cause delays in your credit repair affidavits being received, right? Received by myself or anyone that's doing your credit, or whether you're attempting to, fix your credit yourself, right? Whether you want to take the long route and do it yourself and figure it out and learn for yourself. Martin, you are not the first, Martin. We have other people already tuned in from Detroit. Where is that? Detroit. Martin, Battle E beat you. Battle L, I'm sorry, from Detroit is already tuned in, but we got Martin coming in from Detroit as well from the 313. So thanks for tuning in, Martin. And again, make sure you all hit that subscription button below and that bell notification next to it so you know when I'm live streaming, and hit the thumbs up to share this broadcast. And so I'm usually at the United States Postal Service on a daily basis, right? So I decided to ask the workers hands-on, how was this with President Trump and not wanting mail-in voting, and stating that the United States Postal Services is losing billions of dollars, not wanting to fund the postal services. I asked the person with firsthand knowledge, how was this affecting their deliveries and the mail delays, right? She pretty much told me we are behind. A lot of packages are not getting mail or on at our normal time, right? At the normal time. And our manager pretty much, because of they are upset with President Trump's perspective and outlook on everything concerning the post office and the postal service, asked them to not to even touch and mail out mail today, right? So this is coming right from the horse's mouth. And let's look at how this will affect your credit dispute results, or your letters and or whatever you're mailing, affidavits reaching the credit repair, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So if you don't know, now you know that it's a 30-day rule, right? It's a 30-day rule that if a credit agencies, when they receive that mailing, when they actually receive it at the physical location, right, they have within 30 days. Now, I will go on record to say that I have said on my live stream that it's 30 business days, right? 30 business days. But I was reading and researching to make sure that I'm quoting it correctly. And I didn't see it in the language that said 30 business days. It said within 30 days. So I'm going to take it as 30 days, meaning calendar days, right? I have said business days. There are other credit businesses and professionals that also said business days as well. But after, and I'm gonna pull up the law for you in a minute. Let me find it. And I kept reading and trying to dissect it so I can be sure, because it matters, right? 30 calendar days means approximately what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, approximately six. Well, if it's 30 business days, it's 6 weeks, right? If it's 30 calendar days, then it's approximately 4 weeks, 4 weeks and 2 days. So that makes a big difference, a 2 weeks difference, right? And so after I decided to look at it firsthand knowledge for myself, it did not state under the Fair Credit Reporting Act that it was 30 business days. It said within 30 days. So I'm going to take that as 30 calendar days, which is approximately 4 weeks, 4 weeks and 2 days, right? Including weekends. Easy says post-employee jobs will be gone. Be gone because Trump pushes his enemies. The medications will not get to veterans and senior citizens. Mail-in ballots will not be mailed in on time. And it also is going to delay when credit affidavits or letters are received. And so that's why I always inform my clients that you have to, right, when I email this information to you, you have to go on USPS website, and this is the tracking number of the certified mail, right? The tracking number of the certified mail, and you have to enter in all of these 20 tracking numbers to track your delivery. It's on the date of delivery that the 30-day countdown begins, right? Now, Easy, I kind of want to address this with you, but I don't want to address this with you because a lot of people sometimes tells me that I teach too advanced, right? And this is probably one of those advanced moments. Now, the 30-day of unverifiable. So let me go over this first of all before I respond to Easy. The most common violations of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? That they have to conduct a reasonable investigation of your dispute. They have to correct it or delete any inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable information within 30 days of receiving notice of your dispute. Okay, let me say that again. Under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, 611, right? 611, a credit reporting agency must conduct a reasonable investigation of your dispute. They must correct or delete any inaccurate. Now, notice it did say correct as well. It did not just delete any, and this information must be inaccurate, right? Incomplete or unverifiable. A lot of people don't even know what incomplete means, right? And sometimes not even what inaccurate means. And they think that unverifiable means if you're not able to produce a signed contract or something with my signature and wet ink. But we all know that you do not sign a wet ink signature to receive credit cards. You complete an online application. You click on the box saying you agree to the terms and the repayment conditions. You never sign for credit cards. So if you have a credit card late payment, or you have a charge off or a department store charge off, then there in no circumstances where there was a signed contractual agreement for those accounts. So that's a lot of false information of letters going around, often called the 609 credit dispute letter, right? Very inaccurate information, right? Very inaccurate information. Hello, everyone that's coming in late. So I'm speaking about delays and the amount of days that your credit disputes will reach the three credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So according to the credit law, the Fair Credit Reporting Act, they are required to respond to you and complete the investigation within 30 days. If they do not, right, if they do not respond in this time frame, they must remove the listing dispute or correct and update it, right? And so this is what I want to talk about. There are delays right now with the USPS, but just know you have to keep your certified mailing, and it's 30 calendar days, not business days. I will go on record as stating that I did inform people that it was business days, right? But I just kept reading the Fair Credit Reporting Act 611. I saw nowhere. Now, there are some circumstances upon your reinvestigation that it says specifically business days, 3 business days, or 15 days if a reinvestigation is required, or 5 business days. But Fair Credit Reporting Act 611, 1A says within 30 days. So I will take that as calendar days, which means approximately 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks in some cases versus 6 weeks. However, there were some people, let me pull this article up, that were saying that when the Rona hit, that credit agencies did not have extended amount of time, and that was not true, right? That was not true. During this health pandemic, the CFPB, the Consumer Finance Protection, the Consumer Financial CFPB, let me make sure I got it right. I'm just trying to get the initials right. I know what it means, CFPB. Okay, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau did give a letter that, due to the fact, just like any other businesses, right, that there were a delay in credit responses from the time frame of, I would say, when this pandemic hit, beginning in June and July, right? Because this is the letter to prove it. This is the letter to prove it. So I've heard a lot of people state that it's not true. The pandemic did not give the credit agencies additional days. That is not true, right? So I'm going to take me completely out. So I'm going to try to make this letter as enlarge it as much as I can. But this is to the Honorable Kathy Kreiner. Now, if you don't know, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is an online tool that you can use when the credit agencies do not abide by the law, right? There is a second ammunition for you to write and file an online complaint to. So it is stating that the Office of Attorney General, that was hard for me to get out, wrote this to the director of the CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. We are the undersigned attorneys general of Pennsylvania, California, Colorado, the District of Columbia, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York. So all of these attorney generals from these states got together. North Carolina, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin, right to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to withdraw its recent guidance that would step back for enforcing certain requirements of the Fair Credit Reporting Act during the COVID-19 crisis, right? So all of these attorney generals from the state wrote the director of the Consumer Protection Bureau, and this letter reads: That second, right, allowing the CRAs, credit reporting agencies, is what they're legally called. A lot of people refer to them as bureaus, to ignore the statutory 30-day timeline for investigating disputes put consumers at risk at a time of significant economic uncertainty. It is incumbent upon the CFPB and the credit reporting agencies to be more vigilant in ensuring that American consumers are protected against false and inaccurate information on their credit reports that could prevent them from renting or buying a home, purchasing a car, or opening a credit card. Now, this letter was received April 13th, 2020. So if you heard anyone report that it was not true that the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau put out or distributed a letter allowing extra 30 days during the health pandemic, which was released April 1st for your credit disputes, which caused a lot of people to have a 30-day delay, that was true, right? The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is overseeing, or they are in charge of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So if you receive delays between April up to date, this is why, right? Because they requested, but Attorney General's fought on behalf. And now, right, this is what you're going to deal with. Where it normally would take maybe 3 to 5 business days for the credit agencies by mail to receive your disputes, it could take double that amount of time, right? Up to 10 days. And by law, it's whenever the affidavit or letter, whichever you write, is received in the offices of Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. So that's why it's imperative that you track your tracking and get the delivery date on the certified mail that I emailed to you once your affidavit has been mailed, right? Because you're still under the 30-day window, calendar days. However, it may take longer for them to receive it through the mail. So if it takes now 5 or 7 days to receive it, your countdown does not happen or begin until, which will still delay your disputes. And so that's why I always encourage people, right, to have online account services with Experian, to get your Experian credit report updates online so you can know when they are in disputes, and Credit Karma for Equifax and TransUnion. Now, although Credit Karma does not provide your true FICO score, right, Fair Isaac Corporation score, which is what banks and lenders use, it's a great free monitoring website for Equifax and TransUnion, because they still give updates every 7 days. And you can see if those accounts after every 7 days, derogatories are falling off of your credit report, right? Because this is the deal. I'm going to provide re-investigation letters of a 30-day period, the procedure in case of disputed accuracy. And this is the 30-day time frame, right? However, and let me share this with you. Let me share this with you, this law. Share this law with you. Okay. Fair credit repair. That's why people tell me they fix their own credit. They can't give me. Did you all know that the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws is 100 pages long? They can't give me one law that they use other than the fictitious or fake 609 law that says I want my, contract. You didn't sign any paperwork for that credit card. So that's not true and not accurate. The only thing that you sign contractual agreements for is mortgages, apartments, condos or rental agreements, and vehicle loans and bankruptcies. Those four accounts: mortgages or renting, vehicle loans, and bankruptcy. And even those accounts, it does not state it that way, that a wet signature, signed contract is verifiable proof. So this is one of the Fair Credit Reporting Act laws. The procedure in the case of disputed accuracy, it says reinvestigation. If the completeness or accuracy of any item contained in a consumer's file or your file at a credit reporting agency, I want you all to notice what the law calls them. A lot of people refer to them as credit bureaus. They're not referred to as credit bureaus by law. And the reason why I emphasize that, because when many people think of bureaus, they think of federal government agencies like FBI. They're not referred to as bureaus. These are big businesses, no different than a Home Depot, Walmart, or Lowe's, or Amazon, right? They get paid billions of dollars off of selling bad credit to predatory lenders. What are predatory lenders? In short, lenders that give you high interest rate on loans, right? Double digits, 28% interest, 20% interest, et cetera, et cetera. And so the law states that if any information in your file, consumer's file, at a credit reporting agency is disputed, and the consumer, if you disputed by the consumer and the consumer notifies the agencies directly or indirectly by a reseller or such a dispute, the agency, free of charge, shall conduct a reasonable re-investigation to determine whether the disputed information is inaccurate and record the current status of the disputed information, or delete the item, right? Or delete the item from the file in accordance to paragraph 5 before the end of the 30-day period. This is the key. Beginning on the date on which the credit agency receives the notice. Now, an extension of a 30-day period to reinvestigate, right, can be applied, may be extended, but not for more than 15 additional days if the credit reporting agencies receive information from you, the consumer, during that 30-day period that is relevant, right? And so this is the reinvestigation requirement, though. So at some point, this means that you have provided updated information, and now they're in the reinvestigation process, right? Someone said facts. I think they're trying to say facts, FACKTS. Queen of Attraction. Hello, Mr. Mentor. Are you driving today? Glad to have you on. Gwen is coming in a little later from Dallas, Texas. You're welcome, G's Martin. And yes, Jean. Right, thank you. I can see your comments. I can't see your text. So what do you mean? So what am I going to do? TK Jam says, Queen, I heard that if the CFPB will not enforce credit reporting agent deadline, now it's 45 days. And TK, that's what the letter from Attorney Generals to the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau was disputing, that you should not extend the 30-day process, but they did because, and I think I've taken that letter down. This is, maybe you came in late, but I did share this letter, and I'll share it again. I still have it up. That they were, right? The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau did send out a letter, and many attorney generals from Pennsylvania, California, Colorado, the District of Columbia, Hawaii, Illinois, Iowa, Maine, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, and Wisconsin wrote to the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. If you all don't know who that is, the CFPB is the overseeing directors of the credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and doing credit reporting during COVID, right? And so let me go, this was dated August 13th, and they informed that allowing the credit agencies to ignore. So this was enforced, and it began in April, right? It allowed the credit agencies extended time due to the pandemic, but they fought to protest it. It said allowing credit agencies to ignore the 30-day timeline for investigating disputes puts consumers at risk, and at a significant economic uncertainty is incumbent upon the CFPB and CRA, credit reporting agencies, to be more vigilant, in ensuring that American consumers are protected against false and inaccurate, incorrect information on their credit reports that could prevent them from renting or buying a home, purchasing a new car, or opening a credit card. So this was allowed by the CFPB. So I know there were some people live streaming said that's not true. They still had 30 days, but that's not accurate information. The CFPB did allow them extended time due to the pandemic, right? However, for my clients, so now, yes, King James, I love that name. I love that profile name. They are still very slow. CFPB is supposed to be extra ammunition for you to ensure that the credit agencies are following the laws under the Fair Credit Reporting Act that you have in place, but they are very slow as well. They are very slow in their process as well. So when I see people that say that they got deletions because the credit agencies did not respond in 30 days, I do not believe that to be true at all. I'm just being honest, because I'm showing you the facts and letters that's stating that the credit agencies had extra days. I'm showing you the letters, and attorney generals from that state protested that from the director of the CFPB, right? So I don't believe that. I'm not trying to call out anyone, but I'm just sharing the facts with you. And so that's why I told my clients that get online accounts, and I made a video, uploaded a video showing them how to check their accounts online, because now with the USPS, they have even slower delays now of delivering. I just got a message of delivering your affidavits and or letters. U.S. Postal Service is behind President Donald J. Trump, saying they're losing billions and talking about absentee voter balances. I spoke with workers firsthand today, got it out of the workers' mouth, that a lot of packages, and they were also mailing for Amazon, right? And so until this resolution is resolved, it's very important, it's imperative that if you're my client, that you keep tracking, right? That you keep tracking of these 20 digits in USPS of when your affidavits was received, because in times past, it used to be within 3 to 5 business days. Now it can be from 5 to 10 business days, which will still get a credit agency 30 calendar days to respond, but it may take additional days for them to receive it, right? King James said up to 4 years. It's an uphill battle with the CFP. It's an uphill battle with getting negatives removed off your credit anyway, because I don't think people understand how long negative items. Well, let me pull that up. Okay, Mr. Mentor from Ohio to North Carolina. Okay, drive safely. Latoya, thanks for tuning in. She says, hey, Queen. Hey, welcome, Latoya. You finally caught a live. Now the replay. Yeah. All right. I'm still shouting you out. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. Glad to have you on and catching this live from Jacksonville, Florida, right? From Jacksonville, Florida. Glad to have you on. And so let me share this with people. How long negative items stay on credit report? Because this is saying approximately 7 years. That's for collections charge-offs. So let me try to blow up that image. I mean, I know it. I'm just trying to get you all a visual of it. So this is just a visual. If you have a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, it's 10 years. And notice that or less. Chapter 7 bankruptcy, Chapter 10 bankruptcy, California state, tax liens, 10 years. Federal student loans, it says indefinitely. Federal student loans and collection, federal tax liens, credit inquiries, right? 2 years or less. And then your late payments, collections, judgments, settlements, foreclosures, repossessions, charge off, tax liens, up to 7 years. Up to 7 years. So, I tell people if you get deletions within 30 to 60 days, that is expedient results. And so this is what I'm going to do. If I have a client working with me and they're stating it's been 30 calendar days, Queen, I haven't received anything via mail, I still encourage you all to check your online accounts with Credit Karma and Experian. However, just know, even if you send a letter, right, after a 30-day no response letter, it still can take up to 5 to 10 days with the U.S. Postal Days to even before they receive it. And so I will prefer, I will provide the letters, right? I will provide the letters. You all will have to mail them if you have a 30-day no response. But I will prefer if you knew how to go online to check your dispute updates versus waiting to receive a mail notice, because it may take 5 to 7 days for them to receive your no response letter, right? Then they have up to 15 days to respond if it's required reinvestigation, or to delete the items 3 or 5 business days. But then you have to wait additional days to get a notice again in the mail. So all of this is linking right now to the USPS. Now, I'm going to stroll back up to easy comments because I wanted to take care of the simple things. In the first time. Patience is the key, like you always said. We don't get into credit problems overnight. We won't get a result overnight. We just have to be diligent. You know what? I believe in God. I believe in His favor. But what trumps anything when you're dealing with the law of the land is knowing the law of the land, right? One thing about God, He said, gives to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and give to God what belongs to God. God does not trump. And I know we're talking about President Trump, but he does not overstep his boundaries when it comes to the law of the land. Meaning that you can pray for the favor of God. You can. And I love God's favor. I look at credit as favor. You can get, for some people, 1 hour of the bank's money to invest what it would take 1 year of their labor, right, to produce. However, If you don't know the laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act, then God did not have anything to do with your FICO score. And he will not get involved when you go against the law of the land and you don't know the law to get inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable collections deleted. Right? Now, let's say Madam says you can dispute online. People say don't dispute online. It's false. There are certain things you should and should not dispute online, right? All accounts should not be disputed online. All accounts should not be disputed online. I would not dispute a charge off, a bankruptcy, a collection, late payment online because you lose your rights. But inquiries, addresses that can be disputed online, I do that, all right? But I would tell you, even with address removal and inquiry removal online, it takes a strategy, right? It takes a strategy. Those other accounts I would not dispute online because you will lose your rights under the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And some disputes I do online just to give people a file in the system. So once their affidavit is mailed in, they already have a file in the system and it can be expedited quicker. But I would never dispute collections, charge off, late payments, bankruptcies, right? Online disputes ever. Okay, well, that 609 credit repair that he has is being blocked out right now. And I have nothing against him. I listen to his live streams. I love his knowledge. He's in the game. But that 609 letter is, from what I hear in the credit world, is very ineffective. So, and I didn't see anything that he offered that suggested to dispute inquiries online. Mercedes said, do you have a class where you charge people? No, I don't. I don't teach my intellectual knowledge. And I don't have a class. I do help people that want to leverage credit repair through my home-based business, because the home-based business will provide the letters for you. So if you really want to see the laws and the language that's used in possible hopes of starting your own credit repair business, then I recommend people to the home-based business, because they will show you their letters and you mail them off yourself. But I don't give my intellectual property and I don't teach people because my letters and my law and my knowledge is just worth thousands. It's priceless. So I don't give that information to people, and I'm not teaching. I'm not saying I won't teach in the future, but I'm not doing it at this current time. Right? Why would I charge hundreds off, providing my letters when I can make thousands? Right? 609 is really for victims of identity theft. And if you're a victim of identity theft, there are a lot of laws under the Fair Credit Reporting Act 609 if you are a victim of identity theft to get accounts deleted, right, or removed. Because what you are stating, right, what you are stating is that you did not make these transactions and someone who stole your identity did. You can be a victim of identity theft and sometimes mixed files, right? Mixed files as well. Martin said, thanks. Some of you can't dispute. Some of them you can't dispute online. I was able to call and get some of my hard inquiries removed. Someone tried to get an SBA loan. You can get hard inquiry removed if you are at a quicker rate, if you are a victim of identity theft. And the thing is, a lot of people lie and say they are a victim of identity theft, right? Now, Madam Champ, you're saying you got everything removed. What is everything, right? What is everything? And I tell people as well, don't brag on an 832 credit score if you're not using credit to invest. Having a high credit score to take vacations, to pay bills, or to buy stuff, a house or a car or vehicle, is not the purpose or the reason why I teach credit. Now, it's nothing. I've had 832 credit scores, 823. But when I get time to invest in a investment real estate property, I don't care about having a 730 or 740. And that's one thing that I learned from, oh my God, not Will Roundtree. He's one of, I forgot his name, but he's Will Roundtree's mentor. You know, people say, hey, I got it. You know, King, I got an 830. He said, man, my credit score is 680. Why is your credit score 680? Because I'm using it to invest and get more monthly cash flow. Right? So, yeah. If you are a victim of identity theft, you can get inquiries off like that. Right? You really can. Inquiries are not hard. They're easy to get out. But I don't do inquiries online, right? It takes 15 days. I just mail them in. I don't do those online. I do addresses and name deletions, and all addresses can't be deleted out online as well, right? Jesus, I stopped watching Brandon Weaver because in one of the live stream people were asking for help because his letter wasn't working. He avoided the question. It was more than one person. Yeah. Yes, thank you, hon. Jay Morrison. Yeah. Even though he's under some scrutiny with Tony, the closer right now. Right. Yeah. Herman, I did something for you today. I think I sent you an email or I did your credit analysis, but I see that name. Yes, thank you. It's Jay Morrison. All right. Someone called him in bragging on the 830 credit. Said, man, King, you doing better than me. I got a 680. I just flipped some properties. When I heard that, I was like, you know what? And Corey P. Smith said, don't die with the 800 credit score if you're not flipping, if you're not using that money to invest, right? If you're not using that money to invest. So, all right, madam, I don't know if you're trying to, advertise on my channel, but that's great. Okay, I know. I remember that name. Herman. Okay. Right. A high credit score, don't know how to use it. Don't brag on a credit score. Brag on a credit investment. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have high credit score. And when I have an 832 and I have several credit cards with $25,000 limit, or I can get SBA loan, I always ask myself, why aren't you using your credit? Why is that credit card sitting idle? Why aren't you using that credit card to invest? Right? Why isn't you using that credit card to invest in more physical silver or gold? Why is your credit card limit not maxed out, Deloach or Queen of Credit? Deloach is my last name as well. And let me say this, second part. Why are you all paying off unsecured debt? Why? Why are people paying off unsecured debt? And they'll get 100 likes on Facebook when they post it. Do you know banks have gotten trillions of dollars from the Fed because they are expecting people to default on their unsecured debt? I advise people at this time, at this economic time that we're in, right? During these economic times, that credit cards, if you know that your credit card credit limit is going to remain where it's at, the banks is not going to slash or lower your credit limit. And you know they won't just close a good credit card. Some people saying, the bank just closed my credit card. I've been with them for years. then you might want to reconsider paying that debt off in full. Now, if your balance is under $5,000 or less, and you know that credit card will remain open and you will continue to reuse and recycle that credit card, then pay it down. Keep that balance low. Other than that, you don't know when that card limit might be lowered. You don't know when that bank will switch to cryptocurrency and close that card. And now that's thousands of dollars you could have had to use in hard cash to invest. Now you may be saying, Queen, I'm paying so high interest, right? I got a bad credit card. Okay, I do understand you don't want to pay that interest, right? I'm just gonna be honest with you. I can't relate to that because the credit cards I use, I get zero interest. But there are so many ways. And what I'm saying, why I'm saying it is pay your balance down, right? But I wouldn't just dump a whole lot of my cash into paying off a credit card right now. If my job may be unsecure, if I don't know the future of my employment, right? And and if tools like bankruptcy is an option, or just if the car, if you're so far behind and it's so high interest rate and it might get charged off anyway due to non-payment within 6 months, or you can simply call them, right, and say, look, I can't pay. Will you negotiate? Now, I know many people may be thinking, hello, Speedy Clippers. Well, Queen, that's just more business for you because now I have to pay someone to remove a charge off or pay someone to okay, to remove a charge off or pay someone if I file bankruptcy, if I want to get that out bankruptcy. But let me tell you this right now, people. If you don't know the certainty of your income and your job, your main focus right now should be your essential bills, your groceries, and having somewhere to stay. Having been able to pay your rent or your mortgage. Because Pizza Hut, I think this was the latest news. Let me share this with you. Because, yeah, you can invest in anything. I have so many people, and it's not just Dave Ramsey, it's other people. Martin is so bad. I can't move to Cali right now because I can't afford it. Man, San Francisco, people are leaving San Francisco. Um, the tech, Silicon Valley, businesses are closing down by the vine. I couldn't afford to live in Cali right now, right? I couldn't afford to. But I sure be glad when I get the day to travel there again. And so what I'm trying to do is, Martin, you and Jesus is so bad. Y'all are so bad. I'm trying to get people to get out of that mindset and watch what big businesses are doing. Just because you're not rich yet doesn't mean you can't do some of these strategies that the rich are doing. Look, 300 Pizza Huts are closing after a giant franchisee goes bankruptcy. You know what these businesses do? They don't lose their money. They just file bankruptcy. Up to 300 Pizza Hut restaurants are slated or scheduled to permanently close following the bankruptcy of one of the chain's largest franchisee. Apple, one of the let me find this about Apple. Apple, one of the biggest businesses, uh, cash reserve. Apple company cash reserves, 206 billion cash on hand, right? Slightly from last quarter, but still took out loans. The rich and wealthy never use their own money, right? Now, even Apple, as they continue to host the largest cash piles of the United States, and Apple just recently released that they cash revenue have grown even more. What I'm more concerned about is you having reserves set up for 6 months during this recession that we are in to pay your mortgage. I would prefer that you had a cashback card to buy your groceries with, right? For your health, so that you won't be a victim of inflation, right? So you won't be a victim of it. What is inflation? Inflation is increased pricing of your groceries, goods, and services. Um, they're leaving San Francisco and coming to DC. You're so bad. But yeah, they're leaving by the droves, even New York. Even New York. And so that's where you should be. So when people tell people to get their stimulus money, and did you all know today that in the Republicans' plan that they didn't even include the $1,200 stimulus today, right? The $1,200 stimulus today. Exactly. So now the stimulus is questionable, but they did approve the $300 unemployment, but they're saying in the Republican stimulus package that $300 unemployment, let me see if I can pull it up, may be for only 3 weeks. $300 on unemployment. Let me pull this article up. This is one for example. Colorado received approval for $300 federal unemployment benefit for initial 3-week period. States hopes to have system reprogram benefits to those who are eligible, hopefully by mid-September. And they're saying Denver, Colorado, just one of the states, has received approval for the Federal Emergency Management Agency to utilize federal money to pay people who have lost their jobs or seeing their hours cut to an extra $300 a week. Though it's unclear, people, it's unclear how long this benefit will last and how long, listen, it's unclear how long this benefit will last and how long it will take the state to implement it. Right? So $300 a week on top of their regular benefits as they are receiving at least $100 a week of unemployment benefits of some time. So I'm sorry, that advice, pay off your credit cards in full. Let's look at California. I have Jesus, and we're talking about California. They're still working on the application for $300 a week in extra unemployment. Still working, and we are approximately almost 2 weeks before August end. It's going back and forth with details of the application for $300 per week and extra benefits to unemployed residents. Newsom could not say if the extra money will become available during Wednesday press conference. He also said he didn't know whether the state plans to supplement, the extra $300 federal benefits with $100 in state funds, as states may do under the program announced August 8th by President Trump. And there are also announcements that people's Social Security and Medicare benefits or payments may decrease as well, right? May decrease as well. So I'm giving you financial, credit, and cash flow advice for these times, right? Madam said Not getting, yeah, in the Republican statement today, no stimulus money was not included. Uh, okay, let me read that. I'm sorry, you. I'm just strolling down. I don't know what I'm talking about. You all are just having your own conversation. And so I'm giving you credit and cash flow advice for these times. However, I have been informing people you want to legally, if you're still employed, you can still get your federal taxes $200 to $800 increase a month out of your paycheck. Let me show you all this in my home-based business. I was so excited when I saw this because I was working on credit today. I was from 8 o'clock a.m. my time working on credit. I took an hour break, a little nap, got right back on it. So I am credit crash today. I'm credit crash. It's just how big in demand people need help. But look at this, my 3-day event with my millionaire mentor. I saw myself, this is for the home-based business. The dates are September the 18th through the 20th. You already look. This is Junior from Steve Harvey Morning Show. Charles Ivory. This is Cashflow Christie here. $1 Million Woman Ring earner. I'm sorry. My millionaire mentor, Mr. Brian Bean. All of these people include, and then I saw myself. My picture is there. And she's also, we're all area directors in this area. Another one of my mentors, and Anthony Moore's right here, earning $100 a day, plus presidential car bonus. Cortez Stringer, I'm sorry, the financial health mentor. He's the one that branded me the name, the Queen of Credit. So to have my face in the place among these thousandaires and millionaires and people big in the industry, I was so just elated. They didn't have me with my braids though. That's when I had my show. I wish they would have used my braids. My braids look, but hey, I like it nonetheless. I'm so humble. I'm so grateful because I tell people all the time, one of the first things I did upon my divorce, because approximately 45% of women, when they go through a divorce, they lose 85% of their income. So I'm always stressing to women to have your financial life in order, right? And one of the first things I did when I got my divorce was learn how to get more money. I've stopped losing money out of my paycheck. And I got a $500 addition with the same people on my job. Some of them had higher degrees than I did. Some and had worked longer years, but my take-home pay was $500 more by adding this home-based business, right? Yeah, divorce. Oh, don't be sorry. Be celebratory. I am so glad. Just was not a good fit, right? Not a good fit. We had grew apart spiritually, mentally, and especially financially. So, not a good fit. But we have a beautiful daughter together, so I'm so grateful for that. But I do appreciate your concerns. So, yeah, I was so glad. AR says they're listening. Jesus says, yeah, he ain't going to implement it. California can't afford it. Yeah, Mississippi said they couldn't afford it either, the extra $100. Yeah, and we have so much heat. It's just so much going on right now, people, that unless Jesus said his morning coffee is credit. I wish I could talk credit early with you all in the morning, but I can't. We're just going to sip. We're going to sip credit at night. We're going to sip from the sip, drinking my water. And yeah, and we have heat, extreme heat in some states and city as well. I have one more thing to share with you all, then I'm logging off. Concerning credit, changes to the Fair Credit Reporting Act in the midst of COVID. So let's look at this. And then if you all don't have any questions, we're logging off. I don't know what you all are talking about. I'm kind of lost. I guess I'm gonna let you all have your side conversations. Martin and Jesus. Change to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? The wake of unprecedented COVID-19 pandemic with over 22 million Americans currently out of work. The COVID. This is an April article. Something. I'm sorry, I have a gnat flying around me. I'm sorry. Let me make sure. I'm trying to kill that gnat. Make sure my mic is on. Okay, you all let me know if you still can hear me. But the past few weeks, you got to look at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Perception that millions of homeowners, this is so terrible, will be unable to make their mortgage payment. And I told you all they were calling it FICO 10, right? But I told you at the beginning of the year that in July. Okay, thank you, hon. You can hear. Now I'm not trying to break the mic. This and that is just annoying me. But let me enlarge this for you all. So let me enlarge this. I know it's gonna be hard, so read along. I told you in January that FICO 10 was coming, that credit repair would take a dip, right? But I didn't know they was gonna throw this in with it. But I knew where the economy was headed, and I knew that they were going to restructure and redo the credit world. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, expectation that millions of homeowners will be unable to make their mortgage payment. In mid-March, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, veterans signed significant policy changes for credit reporting COVID-19 affected loans, including suppression, right? So then you have the CARES Act. The CARES Act. Oh, I have one more big announcement I got to share with you all about medical bills. The Fair Credit Reporting Act, pandemic of the CARES Act, that under this subsection, a furnisher makes accommodation with respect to one or more payments or credit obligation of the account. And so this is pretty much saying that furnishers were not supposed to apply charge-off accounts on accounts made, or they were supposed to accommodate on accounts on or after January 31st, right? And so make sure none of that has happened or occurred to you as well. And then again, this is an update, right? And I was telling people, because there are some people that were stating that this was not true. They did live streams, and their channels get more lives than me, right? But wow, Bruce B. Okay, thank you. Romeo said every month. Let me read these questions real quick, then I'll finish reading it. Romelo says, quick question, how should you pay your credit card bill? That's a great question. I'm really saying right now, it depends on the balance. It depends on the balance. I'm telling people, if you have 6 months or more of cash on hand, right? In order to pay your rent or mortgage and purchase groceries, and that credit card, you know that it will not be closed by the banks, right? And that you will keep your credit limit, meaning they will not slash your credit limit. Then use that credit card. I would prefer if it was a cashback rewards card, A lot of cashback rewards cards right now. One of my favorites right now because you get the groceries. Um, the groceries, 5% cashback is Chase Freedom. But the City Card Double Rewards is my second option as well. And, you know, I would really hold out if it's over a balance of 5,000. Personally, now I don't give financial advice. This is for education, information, and entertainment purposes only. But if it was me, right, and it wasn't a good card, meaning that they're charging you double-digit interest rates anyway, then I definitely would. And if it's not giving me cashback rewards to use it in purchases, I definitely would pay. First of all, on the statement date and not the balance due date, right? That would increase your credit score by doing that. But there was like, before this pandemic, there's 1 out of 4 Americans, and let me stop sharing this and then I'll go back. There were 1 out of 4 Americans that have $400 in savings, right? What I would do, yes, Romello, the statement date, I might have to be teaching for a while. I might go to that because I was planning on logging off. It's been an hour. Yeah, your statement date, not your due date. I can log into your Credit Karma and let you see what your statement date look like, and not the due date, right? And so I would definitely try to get more cash flow first before I use my last cash stash to pay off the credit card, right? Meaning that if I had a credit card, because credit cards are used, or revolving credit means you can recycle and reuse. And let's say I had a $5,000 credit card and it was $4,500 on it, or $4,900. I would pay it maybe to $4,000, maybe $3,500. And why if I had the extra cash reserve, right? And I would definitely use that credit card to invest in something that gives me cash flow. Now, my number one recommendation for that is my home-based business, because it's over 10 different ways you get paid, and you also get paid daily through my home-based business. Let me show you all these texts from my home-based business. I always state that daily pay keeps my mic. I'm doing bad on my mic today. Keeps recession and inflation away. And so these are my daily text messages, and I kind of delete them because I get so many text messages. Then it also tell me people that, but this is just what I received today. My daily pay guarantee, I'm not sure. But I received this text. I'm sorry, that Blair. I received this text, okay, every day at 4:03. And I'm at $30 a day, approaching $50 a day. And after that level, it's $100 a day. And then per every client that enrolls, it's a $50 payout. And then for customers, there are some people who don't want to make money in the business. And then out of my paycheck, I get an extra $600 out of my paycheck. Then I get $500 that I get paid on the 10th for my luxury car bonus. If I want to purchase a vehicle with it, I won't. I just use that $500 cash the way I want to. And then I get my presidential bonus as well, right? So I'm cash flowing passive income, approximately like $3,000 for my home-based business. That's not including the upfront pay that I get when people become my business partners and are just customers, because part of the component with the home-based business is credit restoration, month-to-month plan as well. And some people elect to do that because my credit consultation is an upfront payment, right? And some people it's more affordable for them to pay the $79 a month. So I get paid After the fourth customer, a $10 residual for every customer thereafter. It's just so many different passive income streams they have in this home-based business. And with credit, repair, and restoration being big demand right now, and people that is working need more money out of their paycheck, it's the same concept as President Trump as the the payroll tax holiday. Hello, Aubrey. Guess Marvin got it together. Yeah, a little drummer boy coming through. Zeus is so bad. Queen of cash flow, thank you so much. Um, okay, yes. If you can pay it off every month, they say it's better to keep like a 1%, just a small percentage. Because what a lot of people don't know is that you pay your credit card off every month. It doesn't matter if the card is for a 20% interest rate, right? A lot of people don't know this. And that's why I often say interest rates are just interesting. It doesn't matter how high your interest rate is. You pay that balance off in full every month, you will not get charged interest. And Romello, so yes, if you want to keep a high credit score, right? Yes, you can pay it off. Some people say leave like a 1% balance on there. For example, if it's a $1,000 credit card, leave like a $10 balance. They say that helps increase your credit score even higher. So that's just a little jewel or gem that I'm sharing with you. And then on topic, off topic, this is what your statement date will look like. And then I think I'm logging out. So this is just Experian. Let me share this with you. Credit card use. Now this within itself is worth a super chat, right? This is worth a super chat. Okay, stay on. Stay on. Don't leave out. I'm about to drop you some knowledge and jewels. You asked me what was a statement date, right? What was a statement date on Periscope? So this is Credit Karma. All of these, and that's why I like Credit Karma as well. Not only will it let you know what your derogatory, I got it right, accounts are, or negative accounts, it will also let you know when do these credit card companies report to the credit agencies. So when you see reported, like this Pentagon is reported August 4th, right? However, the balance date on this card is August 28th. That's when the agencies require that you make a payment, right? But it reports to the credit agencies on this date. So that's why it's called your statement date. So whenever you pay these accounts, at least 2 to 3 days before they report to the credit agencies, that will be your lowest balance. And that will always keep you at a high credit score. And even charge cards or department cards. So whenever it says reported on, pay 2 to 3 days before that date. Everyone should have a Credit Karma account for those purposes and those purposes only. And that will always keep your credit at a high limit, right? You're welcome, Romello. You're so welcome. And since you're on Periscope, make sure that you share this broadcast and give me some hearts. I don't have that many views on Periscope. So if you have a following, share with your followers so I can increase my audience on Periscope. Now, back to the article that I was reading. I want to take time to answer that question for him. Changes to the Fair Credit Reporting Act during COVID. If you heard anyone tell you that COVID did not give the credit agencies an extra 30 days, that is not true. This article reads on April 1st, 2020, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau issued a non-binding policy statement outlining the responsibility of the credit reporting agencies, companies, and data furnishers during COVID-19 pandemic. Uh, it released a statement that they expect the creditors to comply with the CARES Act, but acknowledge that during this pandemic, right, operational challenges for the credit reporting agencies and furnishers could impede their ability to timely comply with their credit reporting obligations. Again, I said this early on in my broadcast or in my podcast or live stream. So let me read this second paragraph. The CFPB also advised why the Fair Credit Reporting Act generally requires that consumer reporting agencies and furnishers investigate disputes within 30 days of the receipt of the dispute. That 30-day period could be extended to 45 days, right? Relevant information during that 30-day period. So, however, right? Thank you, Gwen. I came back and Gwen gave a $20 super chat. Thank you so much. However, what I'm stating now is attorney generals wrote a letter. Let me put that letter back up for some people who may just joined in late. They wrote a letter disputing this. Consumer Finance Protection Bureau is the overseeing organizations over the credit reporting. The credit agencies, Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And so attorney generals from these different states wrote a letter contesting this, allowing the extra time, or disputing the delays. They did say 45 days can be disputed if additional information extended was provided by the customer within that 30 days. However, this letter was written from the Office of Attorney Generals from all of these states saying, hey, CFPB, to the Honorable Kathy Kranger, the director, we don't agree with you allowing the credit agencies to ignore the statutory 30-day timeline. So this was very true. And a lot of people was, oh, Queen, I haven't heard from the collections agency. And that's why I asked you all to create online account, right? So because of the CARES Act, it provided protection, right? And the credit reporting agencies were ignoring the statutory 30-day timeline. And what a lot of people were doing was they were going to the CFPB because they are over the credit agencies and trying to get deletions as a result. And the CFPB was pretty much ignoring it, right? So now the second issue is that credit, the USPS, and what's going on, they are behind, and they're on their mailings and updates. So now that the credit reporting agencies are still abiding in that 30-day calendar days because of this protest or contest, now your letters used to, or affidavits, this is what I do for my clients, used to arrive in 3 to 5 business days. Now it may be 5 to 7 business days. And that whenever the date of arrival is when the clock starts ticking. So again, so I'm informing people to please, 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 when you get this email from me, have your tracking, right? 30 days, it says within 30 days, it did not specify if it was business days or calendar days. So I take it under the Fair Credit Reporting Act 611A1A that is 30 calendar days, because it says within 30 days, right? Which is approximately 4 weeks. So for my clients, what I'm going to do, but just know if it takes additional days and they're not receiving your disputes or challenges within 3 to 5 days as they would, then you should expect some type of delays. And now is not because the CFPB has allowed the credit agencies to ignore the 30-day. It's because of the situation with our president, Donald J. Trump, and the U.S. Postal Service. A lot of their packages and mailings are being received by delay. They are backloaded with a lot of Amazon shipping, and as well as November mail-in ballot elections that may happen in certain states. So that will delay when the credit agencies receive your disputes, and which will delay when your 30-day clock will begin, right? And so that's why I'm highly encouraging you all, keeping you updated with credit during COVID, and encourage you all to create online accounts with Experian and Credit Karma. Again, with Credit Karma, you can see your statement dates that's due for your credit cards or charge cards, pay on your statement date versus your balance due date. But just make sure, let me put this disclaimer out there, because I don't give financial advice, I give financial education. Thank you again, Queen Gwen. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Just make sure that your balance dates are after the dates, the statement dates that they are reported on. And you have that right. For example, all of my credit cards, I requested that the balance due date to be the 28th of every month. And they granted that for me, which gives me time to pay on the statement date. So if your credit cards are due on the 3rd or 5th every month, so many next, sorry, and your statement date is the 17th or the 15th or the 10th every month, you don't want to have a late payment fee, right, by not paying on the 5th, because you only get a 3-day grace period, for example. So what you will want to do, right, because this is chess, not checkers, is call and get that due date at the end of the month, but pay it on the statement date. Now, this is only for the discipline, right, and the dedicated. So you have to do your due diligence, get your Credit Karma account, not just for your credit monitoring or Equifax and TransUnion. Write down all of your statement dates. Then your second step is to call and request a later due date, right, on your credit and charge cards. That's it, unless you all have any questions for me. But stack your cash to convert it into real assets. One of the realest assets I tell people is the home-based business. Let me share that link with you all if you are interested in partnering with me in the home-based business. There are 5 ways, I tell people all the time, 5 ways that you are taxed out of your paycheck. Just know a paycheck is the highest tax income that you can receive or get paid, right? It's the highest tax income that you can receive or get paid. So that's the link to the home-based business. You're taxed 5 ways: when you earn, when you spend, when you save, when you invest, and when you die. What you want to do is decrease the amount of taxes, right? The rich and wealthy never overpay in taxes. If you still have a paycheck that's coming out of your paycheck. Now, you may ask me, well, Queen, I'm unemployed at this time. How would a home-based business help me? 10 different ways to earn passive income to help people who are still employed, to help people who want to improve their credit. You're welcome, and thank you all so much. And people who need to get more money out of their paychecks and to need to increase their credit scores. And let me share this with you all as well. Let me share this with you all as well, and I'm logging out. And let me read these comments. It's not just the poor working middle class that have low credit scores. Stop thinking that people with low income, right, have low credit. People with six-figure incomes have low credit scores, right? Right. People with six-figure income have low credit scores. Gwen says, yeah. And the one thing you can control is the amount of taxes being taken out of your paycheck. And people need that additional $200. Some people get $800 more out of their paychecks. Right? You all are having your own private conversation. I'm kind of skipping over that. So you all are talking about Tina Turner. Gwen says, let me roll back up because I'm missing a lot of comments. Mr. Champ said $20 for gas. Okay, yeah, Jesus always saying thanks. This a billionaire jumps for some reason they ain't replying back even after 45 days. Right. And I see people come on these live streams talking about they get all these deletions from these people because of the no response. I'm like, that can't be true. They're not even replying back after 45 days. And the CFPB is not even enforcing them to reply back. Right. And the new FICO, the newest version of the FICO 10 that's enforced right now is the resilience score. That's the first phase of FICO 10. That started last month of July is the resilience score. Right? Gwen is going to get blessed 10 times as much of return of her investment, right? One thing the rich and wealthy do, 30% of their paychecks, 10% is to pay themselves, 10% is to save and or invest, and 10% is for giving. If you ever want to come out of financial slavery, you have to be a giver. But you know why people can't save that 30% of their paychecks to do those three actions, which is pay themselves 10%, save or invest 10%, and give 10%? Because they give it to the government. 30 to 40% employee gives in taxes. And then if you're in the S quadrant, this is the cash flow quadrant, which means specialists, soloists, or as Robert Kiyosaki says, stupid, you're paying even more. That's why I say it doesn't matter. Independent contractors in the S quadrant, it doesn't matter if you're a six-figure income earner. 50% of your paycheck, if it's earned through a check, a W-4, is given in taxes. That's why a lot of people cannot save the 30% right off the top, right? Because they're giving it in taxes. And that's what the home-based business help with. I'm not getting drunk on live. This is water, Mar. This is water. I mean, Madam Champ. Because of my voice gets very weak when I do a lot of talking. Now, I don't help anyone get rental properties. I'm not in that area. I'm in a private Facebook group that we discuss our deals and things like that. But I had to invest $1,500 to get in there to help me find my rental investments. But I don't have the time. I don't teach or do that. Because they don't understand. Well, a lot of times, some people that had six-figure income, they would get loans just based off of their cash flow statements. Or they may have rental properties and they're cash flowing in, so the banks will give them loans. And then you have people that are independent contractors, doctoral degrees, doctors, lawyers, pharmaceuticals, nurses, medical fields, and they just don't know about credit. They don't teach you this in school, right? They just don't know about credit. I look at them all the time, and credit does not discriminate, right? Okay, Gwen says, I have done those 3 things you're talking about. Thank you, Gwen. And you know what? A lot of people can't receive knowledge because they don't give. You all wouldn't believe it, but you can hear something I say, but you won't process it because you want to receive. But the law, right? The law of the universe says in order to receive, you must give. You can hear me, but you won't understand, right? You can hear, but because people don't want to give into super chats. You know, they don't want to give into the knowledge. And so they can never get to a point where they can apply the knowledge, right? So thank you all for telling me how much this has helped you out. What a beautiful profile picture. Portia Glover, hope I didn't slaughter your name, is the investment 125 for credit consultation. Yes. And let me share that another beautiful profile picture, Family First with the Campbells. My website, I was about to log out. This is my personal website for personal credit consultation. Is www.fixmycreditandcash.com. So this is my website. Go to Credit Help tab. And I also have a Queen of Coins credit report. Silver will reach an all-time high going into next year. Gold is already an all-time high, $2,000 an ounce. So you want to know what silver to invest in to get a capital gains return. Right now, silver spot price is about $27 an ounce. When you pay, it make you right. Focus on what you're paying for. Yes, invest, give, and save. 10, 10, 10. Okay, you're welcome, Family First. I email you, can't wait to get my results. Let me write down your name so I can make sure. I put that on my to-do list to look at tomorrow. I also make sure that you email me your login information as well, because I'm with Smart Credit now, so I need you to email me your login information. So if you did that and you invested in the consultation, then I will get right with you. I made a notation, and I will look for that tomorrow, or I will look into your credit analysis on tomorrow. Okay, I'm signing off. This is to your peace and prosperity, to your health and your wealth. Drink plenty of water, get plenty of oxygen, and to your credit and your cash flow. Oh, let me say this. I got this today. I'm gonna share this with you all. If you have to wear these in public sanctions, my advice, right, is to get the ones with the oxygen intake, the mask that can give you some vent to get pure oxygen in, the pure oxygen, because that's the body's way of producing, or God's way of producing, a healthy and healing body, right? And no, I don't need that, Madam Champ. The trees and plants provide us oxygen, and we provide them carbon dioxide. So make sure that there's 2 times the body will require more oxygen: when you are exercising to put the body in a more healthy state, or if you have respiratory issues, flu, pneumonia, etc., when the body is an unhealthy respiratory state. So you do not want to put your body in an unhealthy respiratory state. So drink plenty of water. That helps. when wearing these masks from dehydration and headaches. Right? A lot of people wear these and they forget to drink the water. And as a result, they have headaches that happen or they have throat irritation. Get your zinc, vitamin C, vitamin D3. Do respiratory exercise. The body needs oxygen to the brain and blood, your brain and blood. Doing respiratory exercising, walking, going to the gym helps provide that, right? And again, these are just some health tips as well. So I'll see you on my next live stream. I don't know when, I just pop up. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this live on a replay, hit the thumbs up, right? Thanks for tuning in. You all have a great night.